My name is Dana Foster. I'm 41, and I run a small breakfast diner in Rockford, Michigan. Last month, my 17-year-old daughter spent 9 hours cooking a birthday dinner for 23 relatives for my mom's 70th. And at 4:15 in the afternoon, my mother sent one text that erased all of it. Change of plans. We're eating at a restaurant, adults only. I didn't argue with her. I didn't post a single word in the family chat. I made one quiet move instead. And by 8:40 the next morning, my mother was standing on my porch with a paper bag in her hand, ringing my doorbell like the house might not let her in. In 70 years, nobody had ever made her wait at a door. Here's what she didn't know about that night, and about the 25 years that led to it. Welcome back to Calm Drama Stories. This channel is where quiet women finally get loud. Stories about family, betrayal, and the exact moment enough becomes enough. Every story here is about someone who kept the peace until the peace stopped being worth keeping. If that sounds like your kind of story, drop a comment below, tell me where you're listening from, and be sure to subscribe. Now, let me take you back to the beginning. Run a diner for 6 years and you learn the difference between a customer and a critic. Customers eat, critics evaluate, critics don't tip. I bought the Blue Door Diner in 2019 from the man I'd waitressed for since I was 19, and I have flipped eggs at 4:30 in the morning every day since, which means I know something about feeding people who don't say thank you. It's fine. The griddle doesn't need applause, and neither do I. But there's a difference between a stranger who forgets to say it and a family that's built an entire operating system out of not saying it. And I grew up inside that operating system. In my mother's world, every gathering had an org chart. There was a right table and a lesser table. There was a list of who hosted, who brought the good casserole, who was invited to the after party in the sunroom, and who found out about the sunroom from photos. My mother, Rose, ran all of it the way some women run garden clubs and some run governments, with a guest list. And me? For 25 years, I was the staff. I cooked the Easter ham. I hosted the showers. I did Thanksgiving the year her kitchen was being remodeled and the year it wasn't. Nobody ever asked me to. Asking would have meant noticing. My brother Paul showed up with wine and got a toast. I showed up with 3 days of cooking and got asked where the serving spoons were. I'm not telling you this so you'll feel sorry for me. I'm telling you because you need to understand the machine my daughter was born into. In my family, I wasn't the favorite. I wasn't the black sheep either. I was the caterer. And the worst part is, it took my own daughter's 17th year on this earth for me to see the apron I'd never taken off. Now let me tell you about Lily. My daughter is 17, a senior, and she is the kind of kid who shows love with her hands. She doesn't gush. She fixes your wobbly chair, charges your phone without being asked, and stands next to me on the diner's Saturday line like she was born holding tongs. She's worked weekends since she was 15, paid on the books, because I don't run my family the way my mother runs hers. When Grandma Rose's 70th came up on the calendar, Lily didn't buy a card. She planned a menu. She spent 2 weeks texting relatives, one by one, asking a single question. What's the one dish you remember from a family dinner that made you happy? She collected the answers like evidence. Aunt Janet said chicken and dumplings. My cousin's kids voted mac and cheese, the baked kind with the crust. And for my mother, Lily didn't have to ask, because Rose has spent 30 years telling anyone who'd listen about her own grandmother's peach cobbler, the one nobody had ever gotten quite right since. Lily found a version of that recipe online, then adjusted it through 4 test batches until my kitchen smelled like a county fair. She budgeted the whole dinner out of her own savings, $340 of tip money and babysitting cash. And when I tried to slip her my card at the grocery store, she pushed it back and said, "It's my gift, Mom. Gifts count more when they cost you something." 17 years old. She hand-lettered a place card for every single guest, all 23, in the calligraphy she taught herself off a video. The one that said Grandma Rose was the largest, with a gold border she did twice to get straight. I watched her tape the menu to the fridge and I thought, This is the good part of us. Distilled. I had no idea I was watching a test my mother was about to fail. I want to be clear about something, because I've replayed this part 100 times. I did not walk my daughter into an ambush blind. I know my mother. So 3 weeks out, I pinned it down in writing. I texted Rose. Birthday dinner at our house, Saturday the 14th, 6 p.m. Lily's cooking the whole thing for you. Yes? And my mother texted back one word. Fine. Not lovely, not thank you. Fine. I have hosted enough of her events to know that fine is a yellow light. So a week before, at Sunday lunch, I asked again, out loud in front of witnesses. Mom, Saturday, our house, Lily's dinner.